My name is Marie Manuel, and I'm the Membership and Partnerships Manager at the Nonprofit Association of Oregon. NAO is proud to have over 1,100 nonprofit members representing Oregon's robust nonprofit sector. Today, we are spotlighting Community Connection of Northeast Oregon, which is based in La Grande, Oregon. I am joined today by Margaret Davidson, who is the Executive Director of Community Connection.
All right, so let's get started. So tell us about Community Connection. What is your mission and who do you serve?
Well, Community Connection has been around since 1969. So we're almost to our 52nd year of service. We serve seniors, people with disabilities, children, low-income people. Those are who most of our services are targeted to, but we also serve the general public through our transportation services. So our mission is to really provide direct client services and help people meet their basic human needs to achieve a greater degree of self-sufficiency. And to make that happen, we really go after every single dollar we can, every resource we can to bring into our region of the state, just to maximize the resources that are here for the people we're serving. So it is a very rural area, Baker, Grant, Union, and Wallowa counties, and covers almost 13,000 square miles. So sparsely populated, very spread out.
And of course, as you know, the past few months have been pretty challenging. And I know you mentioned that your organization has managed to stay open. Mm-hmm. How is Community Connection as an organization doing overall? And have you changed the ways you deliver your programs and services?
I think we are doing extremely well. We've actually seen an increase in funding since the COVID-19 pandemic began, because we are an essential service provider with food, shelter, utilities, all sorts of basic needs. We've been fortunate to receive a lot of additional grants from charitable foundations, from state and federal government, and our communities. The people in our communities have been extremely generous. So we're doing extremely well. It's been a little tough on staff, like it has been on all of us, but we're just really gratified to be able to continue to provide these services, especially at a time when people really are hurting in our communities. We have revamped most of our operations. Back in mid-March, we were ordered to close our senior meal sites. So we directly provide congregate meal sites where seniors come together at their local senior centers, sit down together, eat lunch. We also do Meals on Wheels. We were ordered by the state to close down the senior meal sites, which of course we knew was coming anyway because we needed to protect our seniors from the pandemic. We quickly revamped into a takeout meal system to make sure people still got fed. And actually those takeout meals or to-go meals have been extremely popular. So we're serving probably just as many people as we were serving before with our senior meals program, but just with a different model. And for those seniors who wanted to stay home because they didn't want to risk going out, we've added them to our Meals on Wheels program. And so we're doing more home delivered meals to people that are really staying at home just to protect themselves. Our other services, like our low income services for rent and utility assistance, we always like to do everything face to face, whether it's our senior programs or our rental assistance programs. But right now, obviously we haven't been able to do that. We've really limited person-to-person contact. We're taking applications for assistance, electronically. We're using drop boxes, more phone interviews. Same thing we just have to do to make sure that our staff and our clients and our volunteers stay safe. That's really been our bottom line. So it's taken its toll on people, on our clients and also on staff. But I've been really proud of our staff. They're very resilient, very committed, and I've just seen them roll up their sleeves and really find every way they can to keep these services going while keeping everyone safe.
And honestly, I know that sometimes that can be an achievement in itself.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of achievements, is there a success story or other milestones that you'd like to share?
We are what's called a regional food bank. We are the receiving and distribution point for food coming into our area for 18 food pantries, for about a dozen produce distribution sites, for some of the Friday backpack programs. And we typically move about 1 million pounds of food through our distribution center for the food banks a year. Just during the pandemic, we saw an increase of about 500,000 pounds of food, or that's too high, 400,000 pounds of food during that pandemic period. And one of my staff equated it to the weight of a blue whale. So just visualize all that food.
Oh
but
my God.
We were really pleased to be able to bring that food in. Some of it we purchased locally. Some came through Oregon Food Bank and other sources. Some was donated to us. But just really proud to be able to get that out to people. Also, people are hurting right now trying to get their rent paid, things like that, because they're laid off. They might not have received unemployment right away. We were granted almost $1 million in rental assistance funds, and our staff had that up and running, and 3/4 of it committed within about 3 weeks. And we've helped hundreds and hundreds of people stay in their home. Of course, that helps our landlords. And we know people aren't getting evicted right now, but it's still a stress for both the landlord and the renter if that rent's not getting paid. So we've been thrilled to be able to fill that need. The longer term project that we just really are moving forward on this year after a lot of planning in that, I mentioned the Regional Food Bank program. For years, we've been working in this undersized facility, about 1,000 square feet is all, where most regional food banks of our size have probably 4 times that size of a building for all their food coming and going. Well, after months and months and months of searching, we finally found the ideal property for a new distribution center. We were able to buy the property last month, and we are now raising money to make the necessary repairs, buy new freezer, coolers, etc., and be able to move in probably in spring of next year. But that was a huge milestone for us, and we're really eager to complete this grant writing process and the fundraising process and get to work on the construction phase of it. So it's going to be an ideal site for us.
That sounds like an amazing milestone.
It really is, because we've been searching for land for a good year and a half. Like I said, we're doing a lot of grant writing. So we have several grants that we've submitted, and we're keeping our fingers crossed that they are going to be funded. And we are trying to raise money locally or across the state from people we know, from individuals and businesses. So if people like to know that people are going to bed with full bellies and that and want to contribute to our food bank program, we would welcome their donation of any size, small or large. A person can go to our PayPal account on our website, which is www.ccno.org, and make a donation. So if someone wants to make a cash donation, they can certainly do that, or they can mail a check to us. Our address is also on there. But if someone is local within our region and wants to volunteer, we always need drivers for our Meals on Wheels program to deliver meals to those homebound seniors. as little as one day a week or a couple times a month. And we do offer a mileage reimbursement, but we really need help with that. So that would be important. Also, what we call our Harvest Share program, where we distribute food to the general public. We have distribution sites opened up. Those always need volunteers also, somebody to come in, a couple days a week or whatever it might be, and just help manage that whole setting up the food, handing it out to people, all of that. So there are a lot of volunteer opportunities if someone really wants to do some direct client services.
And we're absolutely grateful for all the work that you're doing out there.
Well, thank you. There's a lot of good people in this organization that make it all happen.